Coming up in the news tonight, Resorts World Bimini set to reopen their doors this month. More details on that fire that erupted at RESTVIEW Memorial Funeral Home. And a young Grand Bahamian making a big name for himself in the business sector abroad. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening. I'm Natalia Hall. Thank you so much for tuning in. We begin with good news tonight. Resorts World Bimini has announced that the property will reopen this month. Resort officials assuring guests that the hotel will follow all of the necessary COVID-19 protocols and guests can experience the Resort World worry-free. Resorts World Bimini is set to reopen to the public on Saturday, December 26, 2020. Officials say guests will be able to responsibly enjoy an extraordinary island escape this winter season and beyond. President of Genting Americas, Robert Del Salvio, says Resorts World Bimini could not be happier to be opening its doors once again and welcoming guests. He says team members have done everything possible to ensure that visitors can experience a clean, safe, and fun environment. The statement continues that from arrival to departure, each step of a Bimini vacation has been reviewed to ensure health and safety in keeping with the Bahamas Clean and Pristine Certification Program. Hand sanitizing stations are available throughout the resort, and all products offered for hand washing are in line with the Center for Disease Control guidelines. Officials say the Resorts World Bimini team is ready to respond if additional needs arise, and the resort's travel partners, which includes Bimini Undersea, Tropic Ocean Airways, and Silver Airways, have also stepped up their safety protocols. Now booking dates are available on the resort's website. Health officials on Grand Bahama reporting some good news tonight. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, they were unable to observe World AIDS Day in the manner that they were grown accustomed to. However, the Community Health Surveillance Unit says despite all that transpired this year, the statistics show that 2020 has had the lowest infection rate that they have seen in recent years. Rumiko Knowles reports.
According to health officials, the first HIV/AIDS case reported in the Bahamas was in 1983. That was later confirmed in 1985. And as we are nearing the end of the year 2020, there is some good news health-wise. The official responsible for record keeping, Dr. Shalish Hegde, says the prevalence rate for HIV in Grand Bahama in recent years has been on a downward trend. In addition, he says the number of new cases is also going down.
Let me start from 2015. We had 51 new cases in 2015. 2016 we had 15 cases. 2017 we had 30 cases. 2018 we had 32 cases in Grand Bahama. In 2019 our number of new cases was 11, and 2020 as of now it is 8. So numbers wise we are doing well.
Now, as to why the numbers have been decreasing, Dr. Hegde believes it is a result of the medication.
Persons taking their medications, those who are positive, when they take their medications properly, the number of virus in their blood would be low. Once the number of virus in their blood is low, their chances of infecting their partners would be less. And also, I think the stigma about HIV/AIDS is gradually reducing. We're seeing more people coming for testing over the years.
The health official also notes that there has not been a mother-to-child transmission reported since 2012. Now, as it relates to the man-to-woman ratio in reported cases, he says more men are infected than women.
Is more among men, just marginally. Is more or less equal, but if you look at the numbers, marginally we have more number of men than women. Our data is age 15 to 49. That's where we have the most number of cases.
He says another contributor to the downward trend is the worldwide awareness. He says persons are more knowledgeable about the disease.
That gives hope to people, so they come for testing and they take their treatment, and that has contributed a lot. And also the treatment. The new treatments have less side effects, and most of them are once a day medications. So it's become more like a chronic disease, just like having high blood pressure or diabetes. So HIV also is being seen as a chronic disease now. So, and it can be controlled even though there is no cure. Once people take medicine, it can be kept under control.
Rumiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Rumiko. Well, according to the latest health dashboard released on Thursday, December 3rd, there are 60 new confirmed cases of COVID-19. The total number of confirmed cases now stands at 7,565. Of those 16 new cases, 8 cases are in New Providence and 8 cases are in Grand Bahama. A total of 16 cases are hospitalized. 4 of those cases are in hospital on Grand Bahama. There are 25 recoveries and the death toll remains at 163. In other news, fire officials investigating a blaze at the RESTVIEW Funeral Home and Crematorium on Call Road. The fire reportedly erupted in the crematorium sometime on Thursday afternoon. While in this report, representatives of the company are providing more details on the incident. When our ZNS News team arrived on the scene, firefighters had already put out the blaze that erupted in the crematorium at RESTVIEW Funeral Home. Reginald Dean, who's responsible for equipment at RESTVIEW Memorial, says the fire erupted after the stack overheated while a cremation was taking place.
We were able to contain it to that portion of the building. There is no damages to any other portion of that building. And the equipment is still intact. We just have to do some cross-checks to see exactly what the water damages from fire department may have caused. But it's a result of the crematory overheating as a result of a cremation that we were doing.
He says something like this has never happened before at the establishment.
We have these sort of incidents that may take place simply because of gas fumes may still be going through. And when we started to see some black smoke, we shut the system down.
Now, in a video that went viral on social media, another representative of the company, Damien Fox, assuring persons who may have had loved ones inside the building that their bodies were not damaged.
We had a little incident at the crematorium. No place else in the funeral home. So your loved one is safe. We want to thank the Royal Bahamas Police Force and the fire department for responding quickly and swiftly as they did.
Now, police officials confirming that the building received extensive fire, heat, and water damage. The estimated loss as a result of the fire is said to be some $250,000. Officers of the mobile unit discovering a firearm in the Freeport area yesterday afternoon. According to police, shortly before 2 p.m., officers of the mobile division, acting on information, proceeded to the Regency Park area where they searched bushes near the park and discovered a black and white pistol with a magazine containing 5 rounds of ammunition. Now, no arrest was made in this matter and investigations are continuing. And members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force continuing to make their presence felt in the community. Officer in charge of Grand Bahama and the Northern Bahamas, Assistant Commissioner Ashton Greenslade and his administrative staff, along with officers from the Southwestern Division, conducted a walkabout in the areas of Seahorse Shopping Plaza and Port Lakaya Marketplace on Thursday. Officers visited all of the businesses in those areas and spoke with the staff in an effort to foster a closer relationship and to ensure that businesses are safe in those areas. This initiative is in keeping with the Commissioner's policing plan for 2020. In other news, the findings of an island-wide survey undertaken by the Grand Bahama Port Authority are in. With input from over 3,100 individuals across Grand Bahama to its public engagement survey, the revitalization and economic expansion of the Freeport, also known as REEF Committee, shares the results of its consultation process. Launched by the Grand Bahama Port Authority Limited, earlier this year, REEF's key priorities are to stimulate, activate, and lead growth and change by engaging with Grand Bahamians and the government of the Bahamas to support and implement action plans for short-term stability and medium to long-term growth, sustainability, financial health, and the return of a thriving Freeport economy. The REEF Committee invited input to its public engagement survey over a 24-day period and attracted some 3,162 responses. Some of the key priorities are support for diversifying the economy away from over-dependence on tourism and providing enhanced opportunities for investment in agriculture, maritime and logistics, light industry, healthcare, and education sectors. A need for measures to protect Freeport from storm surge, flooding, and other impacts of hurricanes, establishment of world-class healthcare facilities to address local needs and, in part, support medical tourism, enable businesses through enhanced funding, training, and mentoring, and to provide protection from unfair competition from foreign-owned entities, create significant new entrepreneurial and better quality employment opportunities, address the issue of derelict buildings in Freeport, support for a blue economy, which refers to the sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, improve livelihoods and jobs while preserving the health of the ocean, support from licensees and property owners, specifically for measures such as extending real property tax and other exemptions, and waiving work permit requirements for expatriates visiting Freeport for business. Now, a full report on the REEF consultation can be found at www.reef.gbpa.com. It's Halia Hall, ZNS Network News. He's a young Grand Bahamian making international waves in the business sector in the United States. Well, tonight we feature Michael Colony, a business leader, author, and mastermind, as he shares his keys to becoming a national brand in the United States. Shoshina Rolf-Farquharson reports.
13 years ago, I started a company called Stinky Cakes, and it's a baby gift company where we take disposable diapers and make them look like cakes.
That's Michael Connolly, a Grand Bahamian who's making big waves in the United States for his excellence in entrepreneurship. He says he relocated to the United States right after he graduated from high school in 1999 with his mother. He admits that it wasn't easy at first starting out with no money, but he knew failure was not an option. With his first business, Stinky Cakes, and because of his commitment to the youngsters in the Massachusetts community, Connolly received the 40 Under 40 award, was recognized as one of America's top entrepreneurs, has written for VirginMobile.com, is an author, and a mastermind in business.
We did pretty well with that, but while I was growing that business, I wasn't taking care of my health. So I ended up gaining like 100 pounds. I was like a little over 300 pounds. So I ended up really, really sick, and I had to pull back from that business. And I told myself, okay, health is first, money second, you know, of course, family and all the other stuff's come before all of that.
But that wasn't enough to stop Connolly. He then decided to target another audience.
So while I was doing it, I was buying a lot of digital billboards and a lot of digital screens across the country for my clients. And I was like, yeah, this is the industry I want to be in. So when I jumped on the scale and I was 197, I was like, all right, I got to get in this game. And then I decided to buy me a billboard truck, and it came in March 3rd. 2 weeks later, they shut because of COVID, everything shut down.
And today, Standout Trucks is now a national brand. Connolly continues to work with young people promoting the do's and don'ts of entrepreneurship and the concept of self-belief. He says he too came from humble beginnings, attending Jack Hayward School and growing up in the back of town. He could not have made it this far, he says, without putting in the work. This is his advice to aspiring entrepreneurs, even during a pandemic.
But because of the work I've been doing throughout the community for so long, I knew a lot of the high school seniors, and I wanted to do something cool for them. So instead of focusing on advertising businesses, I just turned my truck into like a big greeting card for, class of 2020. So I'm so appreciative because everything that I am, it comes from home. Like it comes from watching my dad do all the marketing for Tino Beach Resort, watching my mother and my grandmother and them doing Bahama hosts, and just always understanding. Like the really, really big key to my success is, in all honesty, is what we taught as kids. Like look out for the tourists, give them such a great experience that they want to tell their friends, right? Like that's my business model. Like that's my customer service model. Like all my sales executives, all those people, that's what I teach them. Like I teach them how to treat the people the right way. Don't worry about the money. You have to make the money if you treat the people right. So like that's all, everything that I am today is because of everything I learned back home.
The successful businessman is also part of the 100 Grand Plan, which teaches people how to systematically make their first $100,000. He says his plan is to one day bring these concepts to students here at home to continue to promote the freedom and benefits of entrepreneurship. Now, as a result of Michael Connolly's achievements and the work he has done in the community, the mayor of Massachusetts has proclaimed that October 16th is Michael Connolly Day. Shashina Rule-Farquharson, ZNS Network News.
Thanks so much, Shashina. Now stay with us. There's more news right after this break.